Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another video here of the Chosen Juan. I'm so sorry I have not made any content the last few weeks. I've been super busy with other projects. I haven't been able to keep up with the league as much as I want to, but now we're back. We got a lot of great things planned out for this channel. Today we're doing something a little different. I call it the State of the Union or the State of the League. Let's see how teams are doing after that restart back a few months ago. A couple teams have done really well, and some have definitely not so well. So we're gonna do this video in two installments. We're gonna do one for the Eastern Conference and one for the Western Conference. That way the videos are not as long. So let's get right to it, guys. Here we go. Alright guys, let's get right to it. We're going to start off from the bottom of the table and work our way up all the way to the first place of the table. Dead last, we do have DC United. Can you believe it? DC United, the almighty DC United, is dead last in the Eastern Conference right now. 14th place. They have only won one time since the restart, so that's not very good. They're dead last, and they lost their last two games, so there's no signs of them coming back anytime soon. But that is DC United. Hopefully DC United get your shit together. But right now, they're not doing so hot. Now we move on to Miami. Miami still can't be consistent. They just got Higuain. So that might be a factor, but so far we don't know yet. He has played, I believe, one game, and so far not a factor. They're almost dead last, so for the first year in MLS, it's not looking very good for Miami, so hopefully they could get back on track. Alright, up next, in the 12th place of the table, we have FC Cincinnati. They have only won one time since the restart, so it's not that great of a performance for them. The MLS's back tournament definitely was a better time for them. Right now they are in the 12th place. They're definitely struggling, so we'll see if Cincinnati can kind of like get something together and make a push for the playoffs, but right now it's not really looking very good for them. Next up is a super surprising one. We have Atlanta. We have Atlanta in the 11th place of the table. They are definitely in a downfall right now. They've been super stressed out. They did bring in Cupo Torres, who now is also injured, which is definitely not good luck for them. We do have PT Martinez that was shipped off. He got sold by Atlanta, which I did not understand that move. And at the end of the day, we need to understand that these MLS teams are a business still. But if you see your team is struggling as bad as they are, it just didn't seem like a very good move for me. But they did sell PT Martinez, arguably their best player at the moment. They have only won 2 in the last 10 games, so that's not good at all. I mean, we're used to in Atlanta that it's a juggernaut, one that's going to be able to take on teams and be competitive with almost every team. Again, 2 in the last 10 games, that is just not good enough for Atlanta. Could this be the end of an era for Atlanta? They started off really good. We'll see if this continues or if the old Atlanta is gone now. Alright guys, now we move on to the 10th place of the table here in the Eastern Conference. We have Chicago Fire. They have definitely struggled a little bit since the restart, but they did win their last 2 games, which is definitely possibly the light at the end of the tunnel. Could Chicago be in an upswing? We're gonna definitely have to find out. At the moment, again, they have been struggling a little bit, but they did win their last 2 games, so this might be time for Chicago to put it into gear and make their way up to the higher positions in this table and hopefully still be able to get a spot in the playoffs. I guess we'll find out. Let's see who we have next on the Eastern Conference here. We do have Nashville in 9th place here. They have not lost that many times, but they have tied a lot, meaning that they're getting close, but they just can't get that finishing goal that's going to give them the lead. I would say that it's a weak restart since the MLS's back tournament, but they have only lost 1 in the last 7 games. Again, they have not lost, but they also haven't won. So if Nashville could just kind of get that last final little detail sorted out, maybe they can turn some of these ties into wins and hopefully make their way up higher up the table. Right now they're in the 9th place, but there's definitely some room for improvement for Nashville, and I could see them pushing for the playoffs if they just kind of like figure out the last little part of their play that they need to improve on. Alright, 8th place on the table, we do have Montreal Impact. They have been struggling quite a bit right now. They have lost 5 out of their last 6 games. That's not a great record. Thierry Henry seems to be struggling quite a bit with this team at the moment. But, you know, they're in 8th place. There's definitely time and room for improvement. So hopefully we can see Montreal Impact climb a little bit up the table and make it to the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see what Thierry Henry can do with this team if they do make it to the playoffs. Now we moved on to the 7th place. We have the New York Red Bulls. Definitely have struggled as well since the restart. But they did win their last 2 games by a 4-1 margin, which is really good. So they definitely have potential to be able to take on some teams. Could we see the New York Red Bulls move up the table? I mean, if they keep it up and they continue to score, you know, these type of score lines and just pull wins after win, we can definitely see New York Red Bulls push for the playoffs. We're gonna have to stay tuned and find out. But New York Red Bulls 7th place, I believe they could move up even more. We'll see, and we'll stay tuned. Alright, we move on to the 6th place. We have New York City FC. They actually been doing pretty good after the tournament. They only lost twice since the restart. So they have been doing pretty good, being kind of consistent. They did win their last game 4-0, so they're doing quite well. If they keep it up, they could definitely make a push for the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them in an Eastern Conference final, or maybe even pushing all the way up to the MLS Cup. So we definitely got to keep an eye on New York City FC, see if they could continue to improve and move up the table. If we move on to the 5th place, we have New England Revolution, also doing quite well since the restart. They only lost twice and won 4 times since the restart, so that's definitely a good percentage there. They have won more games than they lost. They currently sit in 5th place. We'll see if Bruce Arena could continue to take this New England Revolution side and maybe push for the playoffs and make it far. You never know. So that is New England Revolution, 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Alright, top 4 of the Eastern Conference. We start off with Orlando, 4th place in the Eastern Conference table right now. Definitely still continued their hot streak. They did really, really well in the MLS is Back tournament, and they have not lost since August 22nd. We can say that the MLS is Back tournament performance was not a fluke. They were able to translate that performance into the regular season, continue to get good results. As a result, they're in 4th place in the table, and I'm sure they could continue to move up even further if they continue to do well. They could definitely push for Eastern Conference final, maybe even an MLS Cup. You never know. Orlando are definitely a different team that they were last year, and I'm really happy for them. Hopefully they continue their performance. Alright, and we move on to 3rd place. We have Toronto. Toronto started off strong in the MLS is Back tournament and lost 2 in a row, but are back to winning ways. So they've been up and down, but they've still been able to stay consistent. They won 3 out of their last 4 games, so they're kind of like getting back into their groove. I feel like Toronto, it's always been a really strong team in the league, and they continue to do so this year. They currently sit in 3rd place, and another team that could definitely push to make it to MLS Cup. So we'll see how Toronto does. Hopefully they don't disappoint, but so far so good for Toronto. Alright guys, top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. We do have Philadelphia Union sitting in 2nd place. They have won 4 of their last 5 games. They continue their success after the MLS Back tournament. They did really well there as well. And they lost to Columbus Crew last. Columbus Crew is actually sitting in 1st place, so it's not too bad to lose to the team that is in 1st place at the moment. But Philly continues their great success. They continue to get good results, and because of it, they're in 2nd place. Hopefully they continue their success and make it all the way to the playoffs. We do move on to the 1st place of the Eastern Conference. The top dog here is Columbus Crew. Also had a great tournament, and now they are translating those performances into the regular season as well. They did lose to Toronto in their last game, but overall they've been doing really, really well, and they have continued their success. They continue to put on good shows and good performances, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see the Columbus Crew in the playoffs, possibly even making it to the Eastern Conference final, and maybe even winning the whole thing as well. So we'll definitely got to sit tight and check them out. Hopefully they continue to have success. Right now they're sitting in 1st place, and we'll see how that progresses. But yeah guys, there you have it. We do have the Eastern Conference right there, State of the Union. We're seeing how all the teams are doing. Some are super surprising, such as Atlanta and DC United sitting so far down the table. But we also have some great performances from like Orlando, who are sitting in 4th place when they were doing really bad last season. So definitely a little bit of a shakeup on the Eastern Conference. We'll see how it progresses through the end of the season. But I do see a couple of these teams pushing pretty far, and hopefully we have a great show for the Eastern Conference final. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry again for not making content these last few weeks. I'm definitely back. We're going to start making more content more regularly. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be the Western Conference State of the Union. Alright guys, we'll definitely like this video, share it if you can, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's a brand new channel, so I'm definitely still trying to create a community around this channel. You guys definitely tell me if you have any suggestions. Don't be shy to comment in the comments. We definitely are open for a discussion here. That's why I do this channel, just so I could get discussions about soccer. It's a passion of mine, so definitely any comments, definitely put them in the comment section, and I will definitely try to get back to you as soon as I can. And to the next video, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, thank you so much.